Resendez, and I'm here today to offer a few words of reflection on Easter. I think it's wonderful that the Church has given us 8 days to celebrate the presentness of Christ's resurrection. In the liturgy, we'll hear the words, "Christ is risen today," for these entire 8 days. We celebrate the fact that Christ has risen. The world, the society, will say that Easter is a one-day thing. But as Christians, we celebrate 50 days of it. And 8 of those days, we use the word today, Christ is risen. In the liturgies following these 8 days, we'll hear the words, "in this time above all times," so that we can live the graces of this most important season to us. One of my favorite biblical passages is what we hear on Sunday morning of the encounter of the resurrected Christ with Mary Magdalene. If you recall, the disciples had come to see that there was just the linens left and that the tomb was indeed empty. They went home after seeing. Mary Magdalene stayed at the tomb and had the encounter with the angel. After having that specific encounter, there's a man, Jesus, who approached her, though she had mistaken him for the gardener. And Jesus comes to her and says, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" And I always thought that question that Jesus poses to Mary Magdalene quite interesting. Because Jesus knows that it is him who Mary is searching for. The person that she is looking for is standing right in front of her. It is the person asking the question. But we hear Jesus ask this question several times throughout the Gospel of John. The first time is at the beginning of the Gospel when Jesus turns around and sees that the disciples of John the Baptist are following him, and he says, "Who are you looking for?" And then a few passages before the encounter of the risen Christ and Mary Magdalene, we hear Jesus say to the guards that have come to arrest him, he says, "Who are you looking for?" And the guards say, "Jesus of Nazareth." And he says, "I am he." It is a repeated theme within the Gospel of John that Jesus initiates, that the one who they are searching for asks, "Who are you looking for?" I find it wonderful that it is the living Christ, that it takes place outside of the empty tomb where this happens, where Mary discovers and is confirmed in her faith and as a disciple of Jesus. The one to bring the good news of the resurrection to the rest of the disciples, that he is truly risen, he is risen indeed. Whom are you looking for? I think so often in our daily lives, it is difficult to find God working and living, especially with everything going around the world currently. It is a difficult time, and to find Jesus becomes incredibly difficult. However, as an Easter people, we know that the tomb is empty. We know that our God is a living God who is living in our lives. For sure, his living presence is not the same as it was to the disciples, to Mary Magdalene after he appeared, or even before he went through his passion. But as an Easter people, we know that he is living. He is living in our community. He is living in our workplaces. He is living in our families, in our friendships. He is living in our homes. He is living, most of all, in our hearts. Christ went through the passion for us. He loves us incredibly, much more than we could ever imagine. He would not abandon us. He leaves us his living presence scattered throughout all the world. It is we who are searching for him. And if we search, we will find him. remember that beautiful passage that we hear in the first couple of chapters of Matthew, when Jesus says, "Seek and you shall find." That is a promise which he surely will not break. So if we, during this Easter season, as we're journeying through this difficult time as a country, as a world, if we search for him, we will surely find him, the living God, who has left the tomb empty, who has scattered the darkness, who has conquered any evil. We will find this living God working in our lives. We are a people of hope, a hope that promises us our own resurrection. During this season, may we come to find the living God working in our lives. May we come to see him who is searching for us, who truly asks us today and every day, "Whom are you looking for?"